Hello to the good people of the ukulele world. It's Jeff from jeffrey-thomas.com, and I'm going to preview up a jazz chord melody here for Satin Doll. Make sure that you're requesting this off the website so we can follow along together. We'll go through page 1 and get some work done. Wanted to thank Joel and the good people at Bondi for sending me this beautiful tenor. Sounds great. I am on a low G today for this one because of the extensions, the 13th chords, the altered chords. They just sound better. They ring out a little bit better with a low G. You can still play it on a high. So let's get started. If you've got this music in front of you, it's going to make a lot more sense. So here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your intro. Now we're second measure, second line. Ending 1, second measure, fourth line. And then you got double bar, double dot. That was just ending 1 we played through. We're back up to the second measure of the second line. Okay, now we just took the repeat, already played through ending 1, so we don't want anything to do with ending 1. As soon as you finish the first measure of the fourth line, you're on to ending 2. Ready, go. That's going to continue over to page 2 where we finish out the bridge, but wanted to kind of get you over there so you could hear where we're headed. Nice chords, and once again, this will work on high G, but I think just with the 13 chords, the altered A7 sharp 5 sharp 9, right? It just works better, rings out a little bit better with the low G. And let's go in and talk about some of the details of the right hand. Notice that I'm using block chord technique, and the letter names of the right hand are P for your thumb, I for your first finger, M for your middle finger, and then A for your ring finger. So I'm setting everything up, right? Thumb on the 4th string, I on the 3rd, M on the 2nd, and then A here on the 1st. And I keep my thumb ahead and I just kind of bounce away, making sure that I'm getting a grab on all the strings that are involved. Now, block chord could be 2 notes together, 3 notes together, or 4 notes together. Anytime you're doing, you know, that kind of a thing, it would be considered block chord. And I'm using that from classical guitar. That's where that term comes from. Now, going to the first measure, E minor 7, 7th position, 1 and 2, 3 and then those 2 notes that I play together are just with I and then M, right? And that way you don't have to chase it with your thumb. And then we go to 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and then we're into the tune. Second measure, second line. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So this is A13, and then I'm just adding the B, which is the 9th of the chord. I won't get all mumbo jumbo-y with theory on you, unless you want me to. Just kidding. So it's adding that note there, which is a melody note. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Some people punch that. Some people will go right? And that would be rhythmically changing it. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and... You can totally do that. It's jazz. You can do whatever you want, baby. Just kidding. 1 and 2, 3, 4. I'm on the first measure of the third line. Sorry about that. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Last measure, third line, back up to E minor 7. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. That was the first measure of the fourth line. And let's continue walking through with the counting on ending 1. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay, cool. Then, like we said before, you're back up to the second measure, second line for the double bar, double dot for the repeat. The only time that I use strumming is when I hit ending 2, going into the second measure. So let me pick up from the top of ending 2 for you. So we've got D major 7. Anytime you see a triangle in a chord symbol, it's major. So D major 7, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and... That's where I'll bring the strumming right there in, on the second measure of the second line. So once again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and I'm doing up, down, up, and then catching this D13. 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and then you're into page 2 at that point. So, a lot of jazz chords. Lots of jazz chords. Altered chords. 13s, altered chords, which is altered chords. Sometimes you'll just see this like really ambiguous thing on charts, and it used to always just drive me crazy. It still drives me crazy. It's like alt. You'll just see a chord, a seventh chord, a dominant chord, and it'll say alt. This is just opening the doors directly to hell, as far as I'm concerned, because if you're comping or playing accompaniment with another, a guitar player or a piano player, when they see alt on a dominant seventh chord, it means that you can alter the fifth or the ninth. Could also include the 11th, but meaning that the fifth could be sharped or the fifth could be flatted. The ninth could be sharped or the ninth could be flatted. So imagine the train wreck, right? Of like somebody else playing a sharp 9 and you deciding to play a flat 9. I mean, they're not being specific in the chart. So when you see a altered dominant chord, which is a seventh chord, that's usually going to have the fifth or the ninth altered, it will tell you, A7 sharp 5 sharp 9. There's that chord. Most ukulele players, most guitar players can put their hands on those chords, but they really have no idea what that means. So that's a theory discussion for another day. But there's nothing holding you back from playing this. You don't need to understand what that stuff means to be able to play it well. So just saying that, the reasoning for why these chords are labeled what they are, or more correct, there is a reasoning for why these chords are labeled the way they are. And my advice is just go ahead and play them. Don't worry about what they are. Just play them because they're correct. They fit the arrangement. But if you're a player that wants to go further and really understand what this stuff means, it's going to be, first of all, you're going to need to know notes. You're not going to learn theory through tablature. And that's just the way it goes. But that's not for everybody. I'm just saying, to get through the tune, you do not need to know that. And hopefully this was a good walkthrough for you. And you can, play this arrangement. I got page 2 ready to go for you when you go ahead and request it. And then I will catch up with you on the next lesson. Alrighty.